I was asked to be a part of season 1 of Love is Blind South Africa, and I said no, and here's why. It's 2024. It's a little under a year after my sister had passed away, and clearly I'm still dealing with the grief of having lost my sister. But outside of that, I just recognized that I wasn't ready. I did a young self-assessment, and I was like, mentally, emotionally, and even financially, I'm not there. I'm not ready. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Like, there's nothing wrong with recognizing that you're not ready, that you're just not there. And I feel like social media has so many of us in this chokehold that pressures us into portraying this false image of perfection that it's doing us all kinds of harm. People going into mountains of debt because they're trying to keep up with other people who they themselves aren't happy. Maybe they have the money, but emotionally they're dead inside because they too have to put on this false image of perfection. And so I realized that if I was to go onto that show, I wasn't going to be able to give my potential love interest or interests the adequate and necessary love, attention, care, respect, time, effort that they deserved. So I had to bow out before the race even began. And I feel like in the dating scene, that is far too common an issue. People not taking the time to be introspective and recognize that maybe I'm just not ready. Now, this isn't about me blowing smoke up my own ass or patting myself on the back, but to say that Love is Blind is really just a mirror, a fast-tracked mirror, but a mirror of what we see in the dating scene. Yeah, with Love is Blind, it happens over a 2-month period, but in real life, we hear the stories of how Mjolo is just dribbling people left and right, people going out and getting hurt, right? Somebody realizing that they were not ready, and then all of a sudden they just create this entire mess, and then you become a villain in someone's story. You become Chris, the latest villain in the latest season of Love is Blind, a guy who very clearly wasn't ready to be in a relationship, wasn't ready at all. And had he maybe done some self-awareness and little introspection tests, maybe he would have realized this isn't it. I'm not supposed to be on this show, and he wouldn't be getting ridiculed and trolled by damn near everyone in the world. See, too often we get into relationships, and because we haven't dealt with our ghosts, we haven't dealt with our traumas, we haven't come to accept the financial hardships that we may find ourselves in, we force matters and get into relationships with people who may be ready. And then when things get serious, we get to a point where now fear kicks in. Now reality comes back. And when you're just like, I don't have what it takes to be in this. Now you have to go through the difficult task of breaking someone's heart. And often it gets done in the most messiest of ways. And you leave someone traumatized. And you never know what your actions could lead that person to do. You could be the catalyst, the trigger that leads that person to doing something drastic, because you don't know how many times they've dealt with pain. You don't know how many times they've been hurt or traumatized. So you could be that thing, that thread, the one that just pulls the thread and everything just comes loose. You could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And all because you failed to do a little introspection and recognize that you're not ready. All because you're afraid to be alone. Instead of looking for a relationship that's of compassion and kindness and love and respect, where we both help each other grow, you end up looking for a human blanket, a comforter, someone who's going to keep you warm and occupied on those lonely nights. So, yeah, that's why I said no, because I didn't want to subject someone to any of that, because I still needed to do work on myself. And also, I never really saw myself as a guy who does the reality dating show, more something physical, like The Challenge or Amazing Race, or The Circle. I really dig the circle. If Netflix brings the circle to SA, I'll be first in line for that one, because I really want to be a part of that show. But yeah, like the rest of you, I'm gonna have my popcorn and the rest of my snacks, and I'm gonna watch season 1 of Love is Blind South Africa, because you guys know, like I do, it's gonna get messy. So yeah, that's why I said no to Love is Blind.